Person County Airport. Automated weather observation. 173. Zulu. Weather. Wind. 150 at 5. Visibility. 10. Clear.
Pretty much just cross, but that one's not showing cross.
Make your choices.
I would say 2-4. I'm going to use one.
As long as that hum's in there.
Okay. All right. So can we look at this while we're sitting here? Okay. Hold it out. I don't know.
You did good.
No, I didn't.
You did. A lot of people don't pull it at all.
Well, ever since you talked to me about it, I do it every time.
Good.
I got small fingers.
If we get that lead-free gas, that may be able to quit having to worry about it. Supposedly, the buildup on the valve stems comes from the lead.
Oh, okay. I'm going to push this button.
Yeah, push and see what happens.
Nothing.
Maybe it's just there for a fake.
It's not pushable. Do you think it's like lit up when it's
no idea what it does.
I think it lights up. Am I wrong?
I have no idea.
That one doesn't really.
What that one does is flip from being able to change to being able to change.
Right.
So you see the little tiny line there?
Yep.
That means you can change the bottom one.
Okay.
So we can put in, we got 13.1, we could put in 10.4. I can tell you wrong, the bottom knob does the small numbers. But you'd have figured that out real quick anyhow, couldn't see what changed. But
I'm sure it was a trick question.
But that's what happens.
All right, so this one is the last one that we did, which was the Danville. What's South Boston?
South Boston.
That's South Boston?
Yep.
1104?
10.4, good buddy.
Which one's closer?
They're about South Boston might be a tiny bit closer. They're about equal.
Okay, so if I go and do this, now that's the one that we're looking for. That's South Boston.
Correct.
The fact that the tick mark is there means
that you can't change these.
Correct. And to change that, don't talk to me. Don't tell me. That is button. Oh. Button. Is that button? No, I was right. This is the button. Right?
I still don't know what that bottom button does.
But this button does...
Changes which side,
down.
Up or down, so you can change the frequency.
Okay, so that's the weather, which is actually 70, right?
7.2.
7.2. Okay.
And it's kind of like most computers, you know, you keep pushing buttons till you look up.
All right, so flipped it to COM2.
Mainly to get rid of the static.
Right.
So at COM2, we're on 22.7, but we got 26.72 down.
In order for me to talk and to hear, I have to be on COM2.
Right now. Now, if you had 22.7, so here, you're just going to have this background squeal, and it'll go away after a while, and I have no earthly idea what's causing it, but it's irritating as hell.
Okay. All right.
If I had to, I could use it.
I just want to make sure that I can hear folks. There's nobody in the area right now.
Right, so you're on number 2 on 22.7, which is right here.
Okay. Okay. It's just hard to read that
I
screen.
know, and that's the reason.
A better screen, obviously.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Nice little lesson on that. Good taxing mixture. I think we're going to do 2.4. It's pretty calm right now. I'm going to do 2.4.
So Keep your speed down. Don't ride the brakes. Use your throttle just like you would your car.
Trying to give him room.
I agree with that.
I realized I was going as fast as I was. There was somebody doing maneuvers before you got here. Short field, soft field, out.
Let's do the soft field.
Okay.
And, you know, there are a lot of times that the two go together because you're on a 2,000-foot grass runway and the grass hadn't been mowed recently. You got to get it in the air, but you also got to clear the trees.
And we talked about that yesterday, and my response is go out as far as I can, make the most of all the runway I got.
I agree.
For traffic, Mitsubishi 4 Mike Alpha, 8 miles to the northeast.
Comes another.
Tracking the GPS 24 approach.
Another what?
Oh, maybe he's not tracking it. Maybe he's tracking 2-4. Maybe he's not prison plane.
Why would they have two?
Because they got prisoners to haul. I don't know. I mean,
That was a dumb question.
I know one Mitsubishi that, you know, has a hangar here, but that's not his voice. It could be him, but it's not his voice. Did you set this up?
For what?
For traffic. You back it all the way out, hit the connect button.
Oh, yeah. I mean, right. My Bluetooth? Yeah, but how do I get back now?
Okay, so go back to the map where we know where we are. 1, 2. Now what's this? Doing this.
That's what I didn't see the back button. Great.
Sometimes you just have to trick it.
Oh, okay.
The back. Still not working.
It's under setup. Connected?
Okay, yeah, that's it. That's connected.
Yep. I was first thing.
Yeah, my brain's thinking on too many different levels at the moment.
Almost like you didn't get enough sleep.
Maybe.
That was
I'm subject to be called out again tonight.
That was kind of snarky. I apologize.
Oh, it's... Thought you were just jabbing me. That's fine.
Just messing.
There he comes.
Mitsubishi 1.5 mile final.
There aren't a lot of Mitsubishis around. That's the reason I said.
That's a high wing, huh?
Thought it was likely a prison plane because they come in here a lot hauling prisoners.
Kind of cool.
Oh, it's a real cool airplane. Either you like them or hate them, but it's a real cool airplane.
Yeah. Fast. Whew.
Fast. It actually is a hell of a performer. It does real good short field considering how little wing it's.
All right. Now you're going to close your cabin door, and you're...
Once you're on the runway.
Okay. Give Mr. Mitsubishi a break till I step out.
Hopefully he will tell you when he's clear of the runway. Okay, so on the runway, what are your items to check?
For traffic, Mitsubishi is clear at 2-4.
Fuel. This. Gone.
So basically, you want to look at these real quickly.
All three of these.
This one.
Plus this.
Fuel you should have already done. So we're looking at engine gauges. Do we have oil pressure? Is the oil temp okay? Are we charging? Do we have suction? And have you cut the lights on?
Person County traffic 262 Echo Romeo is departing runway 24, Person County.
Some people use a memory jogger that says lights action camera, or lights.
Lights would be first.
Lights, camera, in action. The camera is the transponder to make sure it's on. But that doesn't tell you to look at the gauges.
I forgot the 10% flaps.
10% is not a have-to-do deal.
I was letting you know that I knew that I forgot it as soon as I started rolling.
So it was, the 10 degrees is, if you don't have an obstacle, they help you get off the ground, but they hurt your climb.
Right.
So they're a choice. You can use them or not use them.
City, Cessna 440 Bravo, turning left base for 22, Tyler City.
Do you say Tyler City?
Yep.
Okay. A bit of a mumble.
All right, we'll head out to the north.
Okay. Person County traffic 262 Echo Romeo is turning right, heading north, leaving the pattern.
Now, if you are turn right below traffic pattern altitude, be really careful.
Okay.
Because somebody who might think that it ought to be using 6 and doesn't have a radio, you'd be turning right into them.
You're right.
Now, the other thing is once you're up and away, pick up some airspeed because you'll overcook that engine. Climb at a high deck angle, low airspeed. It's really hard on the engine. So you want to be up about 85 on the airspeed.
Okay.
Tyler City, Cessna 4640 Bravo, going around Sutton City.
Okay, take me to South Boston VOR.
Okay.
The other reason for lowering the nose is so you can see planes coming towards you. Remember, your feet help you in the bumps. So what you gonna do here, Slick?
Going at 3,000 feet.
How you gonna get to South Boston VOR?
I'm waiting for it to turn.
Doesn't turn. You'll fly forever and it'll never change.
There's 2, and I'm waiting for it to flip.
For what?
Once it turns, once it goes centered, then that's telling me where I'm going.
24, touch and go.
All right, let's start over.
Okay. Dang.
You got to make the gauge work first. Then you worry about what the plane's doing.
Okay, so I'm at 110.
Okay, good. Now, you want a 2 indicator, right?
Right.
We said we wanted to go to the VOR.
So when I was turning it, it
So
was...
keep turning it. Now, if we don't get a good signal, we may have to change our game plan here because I don't see the... I just keep seeing an off flag. All right. I did see a from, I think. But it's not giving you a signal you can use. All right. See, this is just flipping all over the place.
South to north.
That's a little bit of a 2 right there.
Almost over the airfield. Trouble.
Now, once you have a 2, the next thing you have to manually do is center the needle. It ain't going to ever center on its own.
Okay.
We could fly all the way around the Earth, and we'd have to get back about 10 miles behind us for it to center.
Okay.
Now, once you have done this, now you turn the airplane to this heading. What this is doing is there is a direct to S B
40 Bravo, left base, 22, sign 6.
V.
Seven nine and midfield downwind. Go ahead, Winchester. Let's get a touch and go first, but yes, we would definitely like to.
All right. So in theory, what this did was put this line up. All
Okay.
right?
4640 Bravo, turning.
And if I zoom out on this, what I see is there's the VOR. All right. So
Okay.
this started with the South Boston VOR right here, and we didn't know where the line was. So in order to go from to the VOR, or if you wanted to find out where you were from the VOR, you decide, do I want to go to or do I want to go from?
Okay.
Do I want to know where I am, or do I want to go to something I already know about?
Okay.
So we go to, then we have to create the magenta line by turning the course. But see, I can sit here and do this, and that needle's never going to center
Right.
unless you turn and go that way. And there's a from. I slowly turn the needle, the gauge, until it centers. And again, it doesn't work very well. We're probably going to have to replace it. But this says from about 200. This says 2 at 02221, which is, this is the reciprocal. There's 21 down here.
Right.
So that means I got to get to about 21, 2 indicator. And as I said, the needle's not working right, but it's kind of wiping back and forth across 2-1. Right now, that's all we can do.
Okay.
It shouldn't be fluctuating like that, but I have no way of fixing it.
Right.
And then once you know where this line is, now you have to turn the airplane such that we are tracking pretty much that heading.
Right.
And then, from there, you look to see what the wind does to you, which means you have to hold a very steady course and wait to see whether the needle gets blown off or not. And the other thing is to occasionally check your compass and your DG. Now, we have the advantage of, we have a course right there. We also have it right here. That tells us what the plane's really doing, regardless of what the compass says.
Tyler City, Cessna 40 Bravo is departing the pattern to the east. Tyler City.
Make sense?
Yep.
All right, let's try setting up Danville and see what we get.
Okay.
Two Danville.
To Danville. So all I have to do is flip it, because that's Danville.
Correct.
140, 150, stop 79, making left close.
And then what do you do?
Well, I'm going to turn.
Good.
I should be going 30.
Yep, 1, 2, 3.
Signal traffic says in a 662.
And that's actually 310.
Yeah, 310.
So that's off probably a little bit just because it's wiping back and forth. Actually about 330.
Pearson County, medevac 5010, be departing runway 24, left turn out, Pearson County.
Looking at traffic says in a 221, turning final, runway 24.
So that's, yeah, I mean, it's almost unusable.
Did we stick a little sticker in op?
We could.
The left downwind runway 24, Brookdale.
All right, so where are you from?
Center Quebec 9 miles southeast, about to land, runway
Raleigh.
4.
From Raleigh?
Raleigh is 17.2. 117.2.
1 Lima, we're about 6.5 miles.
Want me to go ahead and do it?
Yes.
Okay.
Downwind, runway 24 by crossing midfield at pattern altitude, Brookdale. Arnett County traffic, Cherokee 711 Foxtrot Lima, about 4 miles northwest. We'll fly the field for landing on 23 Arnett County.
And it's probably a good idea to go ahead and hit that, bump it back up as well. So it's ready to use next.
Okay, 117.
So where are you from, Raleigh?
23 a minute ago. Roger, I'll use runway 5.
Three, three.
That's about it.
Yeah. That's directly behind me almost.
Yep, so now if I had a chart, I could take a piece of paper and start at Raleigh and go out on that radial and draw a line up somewhere on that line. Don't necessarily know where, but somewhere.
Okay.
Then I could do from, say, South Boston, do the same thing, and where they cross is about where I am.
The traffic that's on the upwind for the left down runway 24, Brooklyn traffic.
Won't be perfect because of the time lag between doing the two, but it would be close.
Okay.
All right, when you're ready, let's do some steepened turns.
Okay. I do clearing turns first?
Well, steep turn is a clearing turn, but you can maneuver the plane to get it where you want it to be.
Okay.
And the other thing is that, yes, you do want to be below maneuvering speed, which is about 98, but you also don't want to be too slow because a steep turn really creates drag, which slows you way down.
Right.
So you have the criteria to do the steep turn includes not losing more than 10 knots of airspeed. Now remember, the whole deal when you take your check ride is the other guy's just a passenger.
Right.
What you do is entirely up to you. You make the decisions. You make it all work in your favor. Take time to think through things. You don't want to start this steep turn at 80. So if you're trying to climb back uphill, but you only got a limited amount of power, it's going to take a long time and potentially bleed off your airspeed.
Brookdale traffic, Sky 3641 Lima, we got
You only got to climb 50 feet, and I wouldn't change much. But
behind you by crossing midfield at pattern altitude, Brookdale.
Traffic will be 177. It is about 2 miles to the east of the field. We're in the teardrop. We will resequence to follow the second traffic. We're joining the left down on runway 24, Brooklyn traffic.
Hornet Tower, Cherokee 711 Foxtrot Lima, now left base 45 Hornet.
the other thing is you'd be way ahead to lead that rollout, push over because you're climbing like a bad dog, like a scared squirrel.
Looking at traffic, Sky 3641.
Remember, as you transition from one way to the other, you've got to let off.
24, we got both traffic in sight, Brookdale.
See, right now, we're already 100 feet high. In limits, but just barely.
Echo traffic, moving 177, turning to enter the left downwind. We have bull traffic inside, sequencing to follow behind the second aircraft on the downwind.
So you're in tolerance, better than last time.
Yeah, but I'm going to do it again.
Looking traffic says 221.
But what I'm seeing, Tom, is that you're rushing into everything.
Okay.
So if I were doing this, my airplane, first thing I'm going to do is go back down to 3,000, get a nice round number that's easy to remember and easy to see.
Okay.
While I'm doing that, in this case, I'm picking up a little bit of airspeed. So I want to start this maneuver at about 90, and I'm going to start with something that hopefully is a good landmark. So again, down there aren't many.
Right.
I'm going to trim it a little bit because I'm having to push forward at 90 pretty hard.
And just a touch, and we're going to be following you. Touch and go, left close, Fort Neal.
I'm going to give the plane a minute or two to kind of settle itself down since I came downhill. I don't want to have false feeling in the controls due to the fact that I was picked up speed that had balanced back out. Somewhere about 2200 is about where I would start this.
Air traffic 6270 series, 8 miles to the east, and then for 2 traffic.
At 90?
For 24, okay.
90 here?
Yep. Give or take.
Okay.
Now, I dropped down a little bit playing with trying to get the plane balanced, so I'm going to ease it back up to 3,000. As I said, I'm not trying to climb 1,000 feet a minute to go up 100 feet. Just easing the plane back up because I want to maintain airspeed. It's really slow, the plane, you're having to pull hard to keep it from coming down because it's trying to take care of you. Not necessarily doing what you want to do, but it's trying to take care of you in its own way. All right, so you have the controls. Ease it back up to about 3,000. Don't change anything.
Okay.
And then go again. I'll start to pull because otherwise you're coming down. 45 degrees, pull enough to not come down. Keep your tip of your golden boomerang above in the blue. Good. Don't overbank.
77 is turning left base for runway 24.
Now you see the mark start rolling slowly. The faster you roll, the more you got to fight the airplane. Do you have a garage?
No.
I have one, but it's full of shit. Or junk, excuse the language. But it's like pulling in your garage at 30 miles an hour and sliding to a stop before you hit the wall. Now, if you pull in slow, it's a lot easier to position the car. Okay, we're getting close. Start looking for your point. Don't roll out too soon. About now. Roll slowly. Now, use your feet, because when you roll without using your feet, the nose does this. Especially if you're rolling very fast. Now, did that feel better?
Yep.
Stayed well within the perimeters. Almost went down initially, but corrected for it.
I want to do it again. I want to find a nondescript marker. I want to get.
Well, it needs to be descriptive enough so you don't miss seeing it with something else.
But I don't want it to be so obvious because that's not what's going to be in Power City.
Correct.
What kind of traffic?
Maybe like the town of Roxborough. Just look to see what your heading is on your compass.
12.
Be careful, you're coming down 500 feet a minute. And in theory, what we would really want to do is bump the power up ever so slightly as we roll into the turn. Take it out when we finish.
Okay.
And then as you roll in these turns, I would highly recommend you look, just like when you're driving down the 4-lane, you don't cross the road without traffic lanes without looking. Nose is coming down.
I know, I was going up too high. I was trying to correct.
Okay, good.
Brookdale traffic 4 lane is on the downwind for 24, Brookdale. Brookdale traffic 3177 is on the go from runway 24. We'll be doing a left close traffic. Brookdale.
Buzzers.
Yeah, he thinks we're chasing him.
Brookdale traffic 221 turning left base runway 24, touch and go, Brookdale. Brookdale traffic 221 turning final runway 24, touch and go, Brookdale.
Hey, don't roll out till you get there. I mean, you start rolling out, but if you roll all the way wings level and you haven't gotten there, then you haven't done the maneuver quite right. You can polish it in. You don't have to roll hardcore and pop right on it.
Okay.
That's competition aerobatics. You can just ease yourself in there.
Okay. Is that one okay?
That's a lot better.
Okay.
A lot smoother.
One more?
Don't they?
Yeah. I'm convinced I just need more practice on this thing.
Well, it's a good chance of that.
Brookdale 4 Lima base 24, Brookdale.
I'm not sure if that's a highway or just like
Power line.
power line, yeah.
Brookdale traffic 3177 is on left downwind for runway 24, Brookdale.
I don't like that marker because it's a weird number on the dial.
Brookdale 4 Lima final 24, Brookdale.
Brookdale traffic 221 on the go, runway 24, Brookdale.
Now, if you're climbing back up without adding any power, it's going to take us a long time.
Siler City traffic.
You're going cross country is one thing. If you're trying to set up for the next maneuver, you want to use that extra power to get you back up.
Brookdale traffic 766 to 221. We'll be departing the area to the north. Last call, Brookdale.
Traffic will be 177, turning left base for runway 24, doing a touch and go, staying in the left close traffic, Brookdale traffic.
Siler City traffic, Kodiak 2 Kilo Quebec, turning left base 22, Siler City, full stop. Brookdale 41 Lima on the go, Brookdale. Siler City traffic, Kodiak 2 Kilo Quebec, turning final 22 at Siler City.
It's some kind of a draft.
Did okay.
But anyway.
No, we're within tolerances all the way through.
Okay.
A lot better.
Huh? Okay. Do something else.
All right, power all stall.
Power on?
Off.
Off.
Brookdale, 41 Lima, left downwind 24, touch and go, Brookdale.
Traffic, everyone, to return on the coast, same left coast traffic, we have traffic inside on the downwind, we're following them, left down traffic.
I have yet to feel your feet do anything.
Really? Hey, let's figure out why that's the case.
When the second it started going left, that right foot should have been moving.
Okay.
And the reason it went left is because the ball wasn't centered. The other thing that I would highly recommend you do is not to go into the stall till you're ready for the stall.
Okay.
And we still had 1,500 RPM on the motor. So before you start, talk yourself through it. What are you going to do and how are you going to do it?
I'm going to reduce
Brookdale.
the throttle.
324 Brookdale.
Already pulled carb heat.
Brookdale traffic, Liberty 177 is on left cross.
Keep talking.
I'm going to just do already. I'm not going to do all the flaps.
Well, once you start slowing down, once you're in the white arc, which is 85, there's nothing that would cause you to need to not continue.
Okay.
The longer you take, the more likely it is you aren't going to be ready when it happens. So, see,
Hanover.
all the way out. Don't push too hard, just enough.
Hanover.
Now, slower on pushing the throttle in by about 1 second.
Okay.
Hanover.
You see how much easier that one was?
Yep.
Tango Alpha.
All right, go back to normal cruise.
For landing at 3-4.
And in this maneuver, while you're setting it up, you can come down.
Okay.
You don't want to lose a lot of altitude because that's counterproductive. But if you need to lower the nose to keep from stalling because nothing's quite ready, lower the nose.
Okay.
Now again, think of it almost like a landing. You're compressing the deal from downwind to short final, but you want to do kind of the same things.
Want me to do another one?
Please, sir.
Okay.
Now lower the nose a little bit. Quit pulling up. Just hold it level.
Bravo City traffic, Kodiak 2.
Now, still level. Don't pull.
Okay.
All the way out. Now do it.
Brookdale, 4 Lima on the go, left close.
Watch the ball. There's just enough foot to keep the ball centered. Pulling on the yoke. Now smooth on the power. Good. Right foot. Outside. Because if you immediately go inside and don't scan back and forth really rapidly, the plane's sitting there kind of wobbling because it's so slow.
Okay.
Feel a lot better?
Yep.
Okay.
You want me to do a power on?
Let's do one more power off. Remember that you are making this work on your behalf.
Okay.
So don't rush yourself. Take your time, take a deep breath, whatever you need to do to, okay, I'm ready, let's work through this.
Okay.
And again, while you don't want to lose much altitude setting it up, you also don't have to maintain altitude. So here, I gradually let off the back pressure, maybe even push a little bit. When the flaps are all the way in, now I pull the power and do the stall.
Rookieville, 3641 Lima, left downwind 24, touch and go. Then we're going to be departing to the south.
Remember to look around the nose where you can see the ground.
22 Siler City.
And recover the yoke. Pitch, pitch, pitch. Once you've got the airspeed back and you're no longer stalled, you're doing good in that you're not snatching back on it.
I'm trying to break my snatch habit.
You did good there. And even if you're delayed a tiny bit, he's probably not going to hammer you on that. He'd hammer you quicker, I think, if you snatch at it.
Right, because I don't want to create a second stall.
Exactly. So I think that was fine. I think that would pass the check ride with no trouble.
All right.
Now, remember that we are supposed to be doing clearing turns. Greg may tell you, don't worry about them. That's his call. If he says that, that's not a trick question. But you're supposed to know to do them.
Okay.
So they're 90 degrees, roll out, look around, do another one. And we'll end up heading east. So about 180, roll out, look around. Go back that way, left. So what we do, what instructors and examiners do with these clearing turns is we position the airplane so we aren't so far away from the airport.
Okay.
All right, power on, stall.
Brookville traffic, 41 Lima, left base 24, Brookville. Brookville traffic, Liberty 177 is on the go from runway 24, turning to left crosswind. Brookville.
Lorry traffic, 0340 Papa Alpha, 4.5.
Feel yourself. If you feel like you're sliding sideways in the seat, you're overdoing something.
Brookville, 41 Lima, final 24, Brookville.
Right foot. Other than the foot, you did great.
I almost stopped it prematurely. I thought I felt it, but then I thought, I don't think I did.
Yeah, you got a little turbulence.
Oh, okay. All right, let's do another turn and do another one.
Now, do one clearing turn to the left.
Okay.
Traffic, this is 108, Sierra Foxtrot, miles bound for...
The other thing is you'd probably be ahead to get slower before you put the power back in.
Okay.
About 55 is probably a good number.
Okay.
And the only reason is doing it at 65
off.
Just takes longer to get there.
Brookdale traffic, Sky 3641, Lima is going to on the go.
I just keep coming back on the yoke, slow and easy, but keep it happening.
Lorry traffic, 0340 Papa Alpha, joining the...
Round the nose where you can see the ground.
113, Lorry.
Tiny bit of right foot, tiny bit. A little harder.
I thought I felt it.
That was about it.
Okay.
We're certainly on the cusp of it.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some slow flight. Maintain 3,000 feet.
Okay.
What airspeed are you going to use as your target?
60.
All right.
I'm going to do a clearing turn first.
Good.
Is one okay?
Let's do another one to this. End up going more south or north. I don't care. Just I don't want to go west because we're already out to the west.
Okay.
And while you're doing these, this is where you're supposed to be looking all around, up, down, sideways, everywhere. I'm sorry, slow light, you're right. My brain dead, not yours. So we're starting at 3,200.
Norwich traffic, 04340. Papa Alpha, turning base, runway 13.
Siler City traffic, Kodiak 2 Kilo Quebec, downwind to base, 22 Siler City.
All right, let's make a right turn to head in a due east.
Alpha, turning final, runway 13 for full stop, 2. Lorry.
Siler City traffic, Kodiak 2 Kilo Quebec, turning final 22 Siler City.
Hanover traffic, this is 108 Sierra Foxtrot, entering downwind 45.
All right, back to normal flying.
2 minutes prior to parachutes over Chester.
Very good. Don't pull the power yet. You're way slow. Keep that power in. You got to accelerate.
Okay.
Remember, if you don't climb, power is airspeed.
I was just going to try to keep it at 32.
Well, that's good. Do that with your yoke.
Okay.
Traffic, Liberty 177 is turning left crosswind, runway 24. We'll be doing a touch and go from down.
Remember, in slow flight, power is altitude, but in normal flying, as long as you're not on the edges of the box, of the corners of performance, got room between you and stalling or you and going too fast, power is easier to do airspeed.
Okay.
Pitch is easier to do altitude. Obviously, as we said multiple times, they interrelate. You can't do something without something else. But
Yeah.
But in general thinking, as long as you're not about to stall the plane, power is airspeed, pitch is altitude.
Okay.
If you're about to stall the plane, power and pitch are airspeed. And the altitude is whatever you can salvage. All right, motor just quit. Bam, 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 bam. Car beat, always number one on this airplane. Mixture rich, fuel selector, make sure it's ended at 10.
Like it's really bad.
All right, now look for where you're going while you trim the airplane to glide.
I'm going to go to that brown field.
Don't try to go too far away. I think you talk about that plowed field over there?
Yeah.
I think you'd make it, but I'm looking down at it slightly. But I would probably look around and see something, if I saw something I like better, closer.
Right there.
All right?
Grass.
Same one you used the other day.
Oh, that was that way because it was the power.
You were on the other side of it.
Okay.
Okay, so how are you going to set up for this? Now, we do not want to turn right into a right base to land. Don't do stuff you're not used to doing.
It's a bad choice.
That's a good choice. Just turn the damn airplane that way and come back around. You got 2,500 feet.
Well, I think that one's better.
He ain't going to let you keep changing. When you pick it, you're done. And the reason he does that is because that might be the only field that you could ever get to. The only time I've landed off airport, there was no choice. There was only one field. I like the field you picked. It's right there. Get far enough away. You got plenty of altitude. You're over top of it, Tom. You can't make a turn and get back. You got to get away from it.
Okay.
Set up a downwind, just like you would on a normal coming into the airport. You got to think about what it's going to take. You got to think about it. What your setup's got to be to get there. You're still right over top of it. If you do a U-turn, you're going to be over the woods over there.
I'm thinking this one. I think we got the wrong fields.
Okay, well, use that one then.
That was the one I was pointing to.
Okay, my mistake. I thought you were pointing to this huge one right below you.
No, this one over here where there's like a road next to it.
All right.
That's
right, straight in front of you?
No.
Pond beside, this one right here.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll work, as long as you make it.
That always the case?
Perfect. All right, traffic plans.
Too fast.
All right, let's go.
All right, I wasn't going to make it. I didn't even use flaps.
Take this as constructive criticism. You're sitting here riding, not thinking.
I deserve it.
You got to plan as close as you can do it to what you normally would look like, so that you end up, if possible, it's not always possible, but if possible, beam your touchdown point at about 1,000 feet in the air. And then fly a tighter, but a base leg, key position into land. If you try to do straight ends, that might be your only choice. And on the one I did, that was the only choice I had, but I was only about 800 feet up when the motor quit. But if you have plenty of altitude, what you want to do is typically find a big open area, because you could be off quite a bit had you picked that field right there with the grass and the cloud. That's a huge field.
Going too close.
It's up to you how close it is.
Okay.
At 2,500 feet, you've got an extra 1,000 feet to play with. It's up to you.
Brookdale traffic, Liberty 177 is on.
It's part of the reason that I picked the biggest open area I can find. Because I don't have to be near as good if it's a huge area. The smaller the field, like the one you did pick, is doable, but there's hardly any extra margin, or you're going to overrun it and hit the ditch at the far end and flip the plane. Not that you would necessarily know that.
Right.
All right, let's head towards the airport. At the moment it's zoomed out pretty wide, so you can...
I don't see it.
Brookdale traffic, Liberty 177, with departing to the northwest. Final call, Brookdale.
What else do you see on that map?
Well, I see I'm 7 miles from the airport.
What else do you see on the map itself? What's this right here?
RDU.
What scale are you on?
Okay. It was really zoomed.
Yeah, and that's what was fooling you. You're not used to looking at it anywhere near that zoomed out. Okay, back up to 3,000.
All right.
I see an airplane out there on the screen.
Going this way?
Where do you see him on the screen?
Right there. There.
Yep. Now, we're running my damn airplane hard here, Tom. We're trying to climb at 60, 70 miles an hour. Reduce power, high deck angle. Engine's going to get too hot. Can't see over the nose.
Looks like it's heading north.
Yep. What altitude you going to be on?
Well, I'm staying 3,000 for now. Eventually, I'm going to get down to 1,600. I'm in the pattern.
To final. High on the approach for this one for Tyler City, runway 22.
So what altitude are we?
3,000.
Are we?
200.
What altitude you tell me you wanted to be?
1,000.
Or what's your game plan on getting to the airport?
I'm going to go downwind. Or I'm assuming it's
Automated weather observation. 1835 Zulu weather. Wind 220 at 8 visibility 10 clear.
What's your game plan?
So I'm going to do what I did the other day. I'm going to fly over. I'm around at
Okay.
45 degrees to the downwind.
Okay.
4.
And Travel City traffic, Kodiak, 2 Kilo Quebec, crosswind for 122.
Kind of circle around.
All right.
Hopefully this time get my bearings correct.
What altitude do you want to be on? Right now.
Travel City,
Right now?
Kodiak, 2 Kilo Quebec, on downwind for 22.
I don't need to be in traffic pattern at this.
That's correct. You don't. You definitely don't want to be at pattern altitude doing this.
Okay.
You'd be head on to anybody else out there.
Right, so I was going to fly around, make a kind of circle.
For departing to the...
So what altitude you want to be at, what airspeed, what power setting, what heading?
Well,
decide.
Okay, I'm going to go southwest at 2,000. And by the time I turn around at by the time I make the turnaround and make my announcement,
and Violet City traffic, Kodiak 2 Kilo Quebec, turning crosswind, actually base to final for runway 22.
Person County traffic 262 Echo Romeo is overflying the field, heading southwest, lining up for a 45 degree with downwind for 24 Person County.
Traffic, Liberty 132, about 4 miles northwest inbound. We're going to do some pattern work after Liberty 132.
Fox 4 traffic, Mitsubishi 4 Mike Alpha taken 24. We will be departing to the northeast.
And Violet City to Kodiak, with the engine failure on a upwind, and then do a 180 back for runway 4, just for a low approach only.
I can see him on the runway.
Brookneal traffic, Liberty 132 is about 1 mile to the northwest.
Okay, so you're back to 1,600 feet. What are you going to do with your power?
We're going to enter the pattern on the downwind for Brookneal traffic.
2,200, 2,300 minimum.
Okay.
Otherwise, all you're going to do is slow down, get really slow out here, and or lose altitude. If you had come in from the south, you wouldn't have pulled the power that far back and not pushed it back in. You got to always be thinking about what does the plane need to be doing? What numbers do I need to be using?
Okay. Person County traffic 262 Echo Romeo is approaching 45 degree angle for runway 24 downwind, Person County.
Brookneal traffic, Liberty 132, downwind runway 24.
Have yourself plenty of room, maintain altitude. You told me 1,600. We pull the power, we come down, 1,600. You see on the rudder.
No traffic, Liberty 132 is on base.
Pilot City traffic, Kodiak 2 Kilo Quebec, departing the area to the southeast. Final call.
Person County traffic 262 Echo Romeo is turning base for runway 24, Person County.
No traffic, Liberty 132 is on final, runway 24, Person County.
Person County traffic 262 Echo Romeo is turning final for runway 24, Person County.
Smooth, stay with it.
Off.
All right.
What's that?
Whatever. If you got to be out literally in your car at 3, I'd say we need to get off.
Okay, sorry about that.
No problem. I aim to accommodate.
Well. Well, I've had better days.
It's almost like you know what needs to be done, but you don't do it. It's like there's a disconnect there between this is what I ought to be doing, but that's not what I'm making the plane do. And one of the things that you didn't used to do so much that you've been doing the last several lessons is you've been flying at a lower power setting, usually about 22, and there's nothing really wrong with that, except that it's kind of like driving your car slow in heavy traffic. The plane performs smoother, feels better. It's just more stable at about 2,300 RPM. And the reason for 22 for the steep turns was to get you below maneuvering speed, which is still, you know, a necessity. And you did that every time. But there are times that I look over and the power's back about 2,000 or 1,900. And in some cases, we're trying to climb. Now, again, you know, if you're only off a tiny bit, pitch will get you there quick. But if you're just like driving your truck on out in the mountains, if you start up a hill and you got to go very far up that hill, it's going to take extra power. And then on the check ride, I'm going to do the cross country first, almost always. or start it anyway. You aren't going to actually go out and go very far, but you're going to start across country. And he's going to ask you what altitude you're going to use. If you say, I'm going to use 3,000, wonderful, or 3,500, or whatever that number is, that's up to your call. But once you've made that decision, now you need to stay on it. And by and large, on the whole flight, if you are working this whole flight, part of what he wants to see is that you're just not all over the sky with it. So 3,000 your target, or 1,600 your target, or whatever that number is, decide on it, and then be very diligent about staying there.